Alrighty, week number 5 here at Agentuity. Important day as well. Today is not only demo day, which we love, but also is kind of our first day of the preview release. So hopefully over the next few days, we'll be rolling it out to a bunch of people and getting a lot of feedback. So we'll kick it off with Rick and his demo.
Yeah, a lot of things going on. So let's see here. Maybe the things that demoed this week that we haven't talked about before. So we worked on a documentation site, a lot to do still, but FumaDocs is open source kind of version of Mintify, which is actually pretty good. So we got some of this ironed out. And Jeff, I noticed you just pushed the Python SDK stuff, so that was actually pretty solid. So working on this actively every day, but it's looking good. So docs are coming along. Also, we're starting to work down a bunch of examples. Some of them are like code snippets or use cases. Some of them are bigger things like the newsroom, which I'll demo that probably next week. But like, for example, I don't know how to say this, Maestra is a TypeScript agent framework. So you can deploy onto our stuff using theirs. So I took some of their examples and wrapped it. So this is the bird checker. And it's like their example just as is, but as you'll see in the coming weeks, we have these endpoints or handlers, if you will, like with request response, and then you can drop in your code to that. So we're just dropping in their agent framework into that. And so like there's a bunch of examples that we got on this one, and then we'll have more for Vercel and Crew and all that coming up. But we've got a repo there for that. And then the private preview link, we're getting ready to onboard some folks. They get kind of a nice special page with how to install and how to do things. So that's it for me.
Great. All right, I'll take over from there. Yeah, really this week has for me been focused on sort of improving a lot of the UI and UX, trying to make it a bit easier for people to get around in the application and do things that they need to do. So I spent a lot of time in the memory section this week. So going through tweaking how we do creation, how we do deletion, everything else. So, if I come in here, making sure that everything kind of works properly. Doing that for both KV and the vectors. Additionally, started working on building out some additional functionality for all the data tables that we use pretty much everywhere in the application. So you'll see now that in a lot more places we have the ability to filter data. We've got pagination working now. We've got sort in multiple places as well now, which we didn't have before. And we'll just continue to build through all that. Additionally, been working on sort of improving the speed at which you can get the information. So instead of having to open up a whole new page, we've now got the session sheet and the slide out. If you click on one of these, it slides out as well. So it's really quick to be able to just, click and inspect this data and then get back out of it. So again,
Love
just
the
trying to make it.
animations. Those
Yeah.
animations as it slides in, then the other animations go the other way. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of work on that. And then started also building out what this agent detail screen is going to look like. So Rick kind of came up with the concept here, and I went through and cleaned it up a little bit. But we're going to start wiring this up later today to, again, just get you more information. Couple of things that Rick didn't mention when he showed off the docs. We do want this to be collaborative, and if you run into any issues whatsoever, we've now got the ability to just click on this button. You can go edit this on GitHub and give us feedback that something wasn't clear, or just submit a change if you think that you've got what that should be. And additionally, we've now also got LLMS TXT generation as well, so that you can feed this in to your different LLMs. And get a lot of great information about all of our documentation. So we'll start to have more and more support for you on that sort of stuff. So that's where we are on that. And with that, I will hand it over to Devin.
Hey everyone, Devin here. Just wanted to share what I worked on this past week. First, I spent some time improving our SDK documentation. This was a pretty big effort, touching 19 files across the codebase. I added JSDoc comments to document all public types, classes, interfaces, and functions, so everything now has clear descriptions, including function parameters and return values. This should make the SDK much easier to use. I also made a small UI tweak on the settings page. The tab heading used to just say environment variables, but I updated it to environment variables and secrets to better reflect what's actually in there. Just a small change, but it should help with clarity. Lastly, I fixed a bug on the project screen that was messing with session display and count. Turned out to be an issue with how root spans were identified in the getProjectSessions data function compared to the rest of the codebase. That's it for this week. Thanks.
That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Devin.
Devin's doing some good work.
Amazing intern, Devin. Yeah, so as you could probably tell, I think Rick might have hinted at this last time around, but we decided to give a voice to Devin so that he could report on all the work that he's done, and we'll start doing that more often going forward. So, over to you, Robin.
Yep, I don't have any screens to share today. This week I've just been working on our infrastructure, specifically our telemetry. We have really good telemetry for your agent and running all that we surface in the app. It's great, but internally we want to do even more of that. And so now we have tracing and logs pretty much from the second anything enters our system all the way down into the agent doing stuff, and then all the way back out either to the next agent or into whatever other service. So we kind of have an end-to-end visibility into everything going on into our system, which is pretty important for us as we're essentially running untrusted code all the time. So that's what I'm doing. Wish I could show it, but state secrets. That's it. Passing to Bobby.
Yep. So this week, mostly I worked on the Agentuity dev command, and it was kind of making that work with all of the telemetry changes that Robin just talked about. Jeff's going to show some of that. The user experience didn't change that much, but it's all using that data now. But other than that, I worked on, let me get my screen shared, a GitHub integration. There you go. So we're just starting on this, but now you can go to the integrations page and you can click connect, and it'll take you to the GitHub app, and you can, like normal, select all repos or just the selected repos, install the app, and that's as far as we've gotten so far. But what this is going to do for you is when you merge to your main branch, and probably other features, we're going to be able to deploy those agents in our cloud for you without any setup. Additionally, we'll have support for GitHub Actions, and you can write your own deployments, but this is kind of the batteries included version. Quick start.
Awesome.
That's it for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I worked on a lot of different things this week, so I'll show a few different video demos rather. I'll start. I worked a lot on the CLI this week and just improving a bunch of the DX and the UX around it. So first of all, I'm going to show some of the new project stuff. So kind of rework some of the new project a little bit. So I'm going to do, let's say test demo. Test demo. I'll just do that. Rework the screen now, so you can now, when you first create a project, you select the runtime. So right now we support Bun, Node, and Python. Python with the UV package manager. We'll support some additional runtimes in the future, especially around around Python. So be able to use Poetry or be able to use pip, etc., as well as potentially maybe Dino. We'll see. I'm going to start with Python because I also worked significantly on Python, both the SDK this week, as well as a bunch of the framework integrations this week. So I'll just do a quick demo of that. So now when you select a runtime, so I'll select Python, you'll also get a set of templates. These are all open source, so they're really easy to add new templates. These are the templates we right now have out of the box. So I'm going to do LangChain, so a really popular AI framework. Show you how you can use that inside of Agentuity. So I'll just create that. I'm just going to name this agent test agent, and then I'll give it a description. This is a really cool agent. And then you can, of course, set up your authentication for that agent. Right now, We're just exposing a Veritoken API key. We will have additional authentication in the future. I'm going to turn that off because I'm just going to do the demo locally. And then we've got this new screen, makes it a little bit easier to understand what do you do next. So I'm going to go here in the test demo, and then I'm going to open this up first in Cursor so we can sort of see what it looks like. Okay, here's our, go away. Here's our little, we do have a nice Cursor rules files that we're building out. We have this agent, here's my agent, and then here it is with all the dependencies are all set up. So this is a LangChain. Let me expand that a little bit. This is a LangChain application.
You
So
bump up your size.
Thank you. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Thank you, Rick. And then I'm going to make a few changes. So let me close this out. All right. So this is just a really simple LangChain here. You can sort of see the pipes. I'm going to actually make it a little different though. So what I'm going to do down here, instead of taking in text, I'm going to take in JSON. And I want it to be a prompt. And then if you don't provide a prompt, I'm going to say, what is the capital of the USA? How about that? So that will be my default. And then I'll just take whatever output he gives it. And then what I'm going to do now, let's go run this in dev mode first. So Agentuity dev mode is kind of like local development. So I'm going to pull this up, and you should be able to see here. I'm getting an error. Why am I getting an error, Bobby? Let's see here. It's weird. Let me try that again. Let me make this screen maybe a little less big. How about that? No, I'll just bump it up this way. How about that? Is that a little bit better? Okay, yeah. So then we did prompt. So what is the capital? I'm going to change the prompt, obviously. What is the capital of, how about France? And we'll see if this works. Now, I should be able to click run. And then what's happening is it should be sending it over, and I'm getting an issue here. Did I do something wrong? Let's see here. Well, you got an error, and look at there. We are seeing some nice errors here. So I've got my session, obviously it's showing that it's an error. I've got my logs coming out of my agent here. I can get a lot more detail here. So it says takes positional argument, but 3 were given. Okay, that's interesting. So not sure why that happened, but it did. So let me just take that out. So let me try this one. Text. So I'm just going to say, just to the demo, what is the capital of the USA? So let me run it again. Not sure why it did that. I'm not sure. That's weird. Let me run this again. There's a bug clearly in that. Although I just did it right before this demo. I'm just going to send it empty for now. We are working through the ability to do audio and attachments, and right now it's expecting JSON. You should be able to do text. Should be able to do different formats. We're working through some of this right now. Okay, there you go. There's the response. So clearly, I've got some issue. I've got to debug it. Worked right before here, and then you can sort of see my session. So the idea here is you should be able to, and we don't have some of this wired up yet. That's what we're working through right now. Hopefully, we'll have most of this wired up in the next week. But you should be able to start to see the new dev experience. The idea is you should be able to test different inputs and outputs, different content types, et cetera, and with your agent and kind of stay in dev mode. Okay, so that's that. One of the couple things I wanted to show, we do also have this Agentuity YAML is kind of our configuration file that we use for a bunch of stuff. This week I did add a bunch of stuff to this file. You can see it's got now comments automatically that get generated. It's very well documented. So if you do need to change anything, or we'll tell you some things that you probably shouldn't change. We also have like the SymVer for the tooling. So it'll tell you if you've got a project that needs to, you need a different version of the tooling. We have some information about, your resources when you deploy it, the bundler, et cetera, and your agents. So again, some of this is all documented pretty well. So that's the other big thing that we did this week. And last but not least, we've made it really easy. And I'll just show this real quick. We do have this sort of templates capability. So we made, basically, it's really easy. It's a YAML file that can describe sort of all the various templates. This is in our open source CLI repo. So we do expect to get PRs, and those are very welcome. So just to show an example, these are the different templates here. These just basically describe kind of how to, what the arguments to run to set up OpenAI as an example, what files to include, et cetera. So it makes it really easy for us to like build different types of templates, different types of structures. And so when you set it up, eventually we'll pull this out into its own repo to make it a little bit easier to make it dynamic and not build it into the tool. But that's kind of where we're at right now while we're iterating on it. So that is it for my demo. I think we're done. So I think that was a really good week. Amazing. If you're on the waiting list, hopefully we will be getting to you very, very soon. And we look forward to your feedback. All right. Thanks, everybody. Great demo week. See you next week. Bye.